And the topic is what I call as the wise pause. Promise is very simple. If you learn to pause well, then you will think more clearly. You will feel more in control. You will not feel overwhelmed. You will speak with more power. And in moments, when some important moments when everything is going all over the place, you will make better decisions. Now, many people think that, leadership or being in control is about speed. Answer quickly, decide quickly, react quickly, move quickly. Yes, there are moments when speed is very, very important. But wise leadership is not about speed alone. It's about clarity. And clarity needs a pause. When you pause, it is not a weakness, it is not hesitation, it is not confusion. It is strength in a situation of pressure. So it is that little space that you create between what is happening and what you choose to do. So that's where you will respond instead of reacting. And that is where your future is going to be decided. So most people don't lose power because they lack intelligence. They lose power because they react before they are ready. So they are not responding, they are automatically reacting. And there are many situations like that. I don't have to tell you. Many situations where you have a knee-jerk reaction, you react. Like an old wound is getting triggered, a fear is getting triggered, somebody disappoints us in the family or in the team. And even before you know it, your voice becomes hard, your body tightens, your mind contracts, and your decision becomes small rather than big, and rather than being appropriate. So have you noticed it? When we are disturbed, we don't see the whole picture. No? We only see that little thing which is the threat. We only see the hurt. We only see the urgency. And then we call it decision making. Remember interferers? In situations like that, your interferers take over. So I'll just remind you very quickly. Performance is equal to potential minus interference. Remember? Potential is already there, but interference enters through the noise of the circumstances, emotion, fear, ego, fatigue, pressure, and the need to be always right, and the need to be in control, the need to judge everything, the need to have everything my way. So what happens is that when you do a wise pause, it reduces the interference. It is a very powerful discipline that enterprising people have, good leaders have, people who are trusted by others, they have that. So a calm leader is never one who never feels pressure. This kind of a person has learned not to be influenced by pressure, to become pressure himself. He will not allow himself or herself to be in a state of reaction and resistance. Now let us look there are many familiar situations, no? Like you're in a meeting, you worked hard on an idea, somebody just dismisses it in 2 sentences without listening to you. And that's when your inner reaction will start, na? They do not understand, they do not respect me, I must defend myself, I must prove my point. Or you shared something very important with some member of your family, expecting them to show you some response, and they say, okay. And then you get into the downward spiral, right? Now you can react from whatever, from your auto mode, or you can pause and make a wise choice. Even if it is a 3-second pause, maybe one deep breath, maybe one sip of water, maybe one moment of silence, that changes everything. Because when you pause, what will you do? Like I've told you before, you will ask, what is really required over here? Do I need to defend? Or do I need to understand? Do I need to get the other person's point of view before trying to thrust my point of view on them? Do I need to move this conversation forward? Or do I want this to develop into an argument? Now that is called a wise pause. You can have it with your children. Somebody close to you says something very careless without thinking. They have reacted to something and they've said something maybe have nothing to do with you, but you get worked up, right? And the old pattern wakes up and says, respond immediately. How can you talk like that? Yeah, so you correct them, you attack them, withdraw, you punish, you become cold. Pause. Pause. Wait. Not because you want to suppress your emotions, not because you are afraid, but because you are choosing to respond from your wise, infinite self, not from your injury. That is why this pause is very important. Now you might have noticed in number of sessions I have done with you, I always say start with the pause, breathe. It gives you back yourself. Without a pause, the situation is in control of you. With the pause, you are in charge of you, your mind, body, your emotions. You are back in your choice. You return to your dignity. You return to your leadership. Now, have you noticed that this pausing is very, very difficult for many people? And you say, sir, it's easy for you to say, but it's very hard. This is programming. Mind says, do something now. The mind says, say something now. They say, fix it now. Protect yourself now. It's all automatic. You're not even thinking. So, sometimes because you're a responsible person, you might have trained yourself to move fast. Fast thinking, fast speaking, fast solving, fast rescuing. But remember one thing, guys. Speed without awareness creates costly mistakes. You may solve the immediate discomfort which you are feeling. You may feel that you have sorted out the problem, but you might have created a bigger problem. Sometimes you may win an argument, but lose a relationship. And if you're a senior person, you will always win the argument because the junior has to keep quiet. But somewhere you're losing that person being fully engaged with you. Maybe turning a person into someone who says, okay, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. I will not use my brains. Yeah, you may force a decision, lose the trust of the other person. You may look very strong. Now, we have this worldwide example of someone who just reacts. Mind changes every 1 or 2 hours. Doesn't even have control over the way he speaks. He's telling the head of a nation, that fellow was licking my, what. I mean, so the more senior you are, the more you need to be aware of the consequences of what you say, what you do, what you think. So sometimes, you might be quiet for hours, smothering, angry inside. That is not the pause. That is not wise leadership. So what does the pause actually do? It does 3 things. It interrupts the automatic reaction. Second, it reconnects you with your deeper, larger, infinite intelligence. Third, it gives you access to the larger context. Things like what will be best for all of us. What will be the best in this situation for us to reach closer to our goals? And remember one thing, Context is decisive. When you're reactive, your context becomes very small. Yeah, my hurt, my injury, my image, my insult, my ego. But when you pause, the context becomes wider. You can include the other person. You are more aware of, hey, listen, what are the long-term consequences of what we are doing? And that is why calm leaders, calm entrepreneurs make better decisions. Not because they know more, but they're able to see and perceive much more. So when you're calm, your perception expands. When you are reactive and resisting, it shrinks your perception. Imagine if you're only looking at the world like this. So you can use something today and every day. Step number 1, stop the immediate rush. Do not speak instantly. Do not just send a knee-jerk reactive message. Do not decide instantly. Pause, even for 5 seconds may be enough. Step number 2, return to your body. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath going through your nostrils. It's very important because your body tells the mind whether it is safe. When your body softens, your mind feels safe. Thinking becomes clearer. Step number 3, ask a wise question. No need to ask 20 questions. Simple question. I'll repeat what I told you before. What is really needed here? That's one question. What is the outcome that will be best for everyone in this situation? Next question. What would be the wisest response right now? What matters most in this situation? Will this still be important next week? You can even ask, am I about to react or am I about to respond and lead appropriately? So the question opens up a new space. Yeah? Questions like what response will serve the real outcome? You may still respond firmly. You may still say no. But the pause makes you strong. It does not make you weak. Remember, you are in control of your thoughts, feelings, emotions at times. All the time. Your words become clear. Your tone becomes clean. So it matters in every situation that you're likely to face. Failure, humiliation, all sorts of situations. The pause helps you to give a meaning that is empowering, not the automatic negative meaning that we tend to give to everything that happens. Something happens, we give a meaning. And whatever meaning we give, we react like that, appropriate to that. So when you pause, you're noticing, oh, this is the meaning I'm giving. Is this meaning going to make me weak or strong? But a meaning is a meaning, it's not the truth, right? So what else can it mean in this situation? What other meaning is equally valid in this situation? So sometimes people say, but sir, in real life, everything is moving very fast. I don't have time to pause. Hello, I understand that. What's the problem with the 3-second pause? Maybe useful to pause a little bit right now instead of creating a situation which wastes a lot of time for a lot of people, isn't it? It's better than getting 5 days wasted, a 5-second pause. A pause is not procrastination, okay? This pause is preparing you. This pause is not making you avoid anything. So when you pause wisely, you're not going away from leadership. You're getting into being a better quality leader, a better quality entrepreneur, a more enterprising person, a person who's more concerned about the quality of life rather than only being in the fighting mode all the time.